Okay, this video is Module 1, Section 4, and the last objective, Objective 10. And it says, given the perimeter of a closed figure, find a missing side length. Now this problem they give you about Tyler sewing a quilt is probably the hardest one, which is interesting why they'd have that one first, but let's dive in. Okay, so let's understand the problem, read it all the way through. So Tyler is sewing together a rectangular quilt for his friend. Let's use the pointer instead. Here we go. The pattern for the quilt states that he will need a piece of fabric binding that is 336 inches long to bind the quilt. You may not know what binding is, but here we go. The binding of a quilt is a very small border of fabric that goes around the quilt. The quilt's width measures 72 inches. What is the quilt's length? Draw a picture to solve it. Okay, so the binding is basically the perimeter. Okay, we want to see how far it is all the way around the outside to figure out how much binding we need. Okay, how many inches? And they said that we need 336 inches of binding. Okay, so kind of get the idea. So we just need to figure out a plan now. Okay, so our plan, we're going to build that plan. I'm going to draw it, first of all, because it says to draw. And once I draw it, hopefully I'll get an idea. But let me do that first, because that's going to be part of understanding, okay? So we know the quilt's width measures 72 inches. Now, width, in general, is the short side. Length is longer, and width is shorter, okay? So I'm going to try that again. Here we go. So we have a short side and a long side. So the short side is 72 inches. And I'm going to put both of them up there just so we don't have any questions. And they say, what is the quilt's length? So we're looking for this one and this one. But we do know that they are the same because it's a rectangle. Okay, we also know that all the way around, so here plus here plus here plus here, the perimeter is going to be 336 inches. Okay, so how are we going to find the missing measurement? Okay, so I'm going to go as far as I can with like what we did before, and then see if I can fill in any blanks that we've got. Okay, so execute time. So we don't know the top, so I'm going to leave a blank, plus 72 plus another blank plus the other 72, and that's going to equal 336. Okay, and I do know that these two blanks are the same number. Okay, just like these two are the same number. Okay, so let's see what we can make out of that. What if we were to add the 72s together to see how much we've used already? Okay, so 4 and 14. So between this side and this side, we've used up 144 inches of the total 336. Okay, so I'm going to see what we have left. We're going to do 336 minus 144. So 6 minus 4 is 2. 3 minus 4, you can't do it, so we're going to have to borrow. 13 minus 4 is 9. And 2 minus 1 is 1. Okay, so I have 192 inches left to go into these two places. And I know they have to be the same, so I'm going to cut 192 in half. Okay, now this means divide, and that's technically not in this section, but you're trying to figure out which two numbers that are identical add up to give you 192. Okay? So we're going to do 192, cut it in half, and we get 96 and 96. Okay? So two 96s and two 72s give you 336. So what's the quilt's length? 96 inches. Okay, remember how I said that one was the hardest one? Here's an easier one. Okay? So, we know that the perimeter of the shape is 18 centimeters. So all the way around here is 18. We're given 3 of the sides, and we need to find the 4th side. Okay? So perimeter is all of the sides added up is equal to what they tell you the perimeter was, which is 18. Okay, now remember we talked about equal signs mean they're balanced, right? So the right side has to equal the left side. So what do we put in here so that all of this balances with 18? Okay, I'm going to add these together and see what we have so far. So 5 plus 6 is 11. 11 plus 2 is 13. So what do we add to 13 to get 18? And that has to be 5, right? So that means the missing side is 5 centimeters. Okay, the perimeter of a rectangle is 36 inches. We're given one side, so we need to find the other side. So what does this have to be, which is also the same as this? This is the same as that, so the left and right are the same, the top and bottom are the same. Okay, so let's see what we've got. We have something plus 8 plus that same something plus another 8 is equal to 36, which is the perimeter. Okay, so since the sides are balanced, they're equal. Let's see what we have on the left so far. So can I add any of this stuff? Sure, we can add the two 8s together. Okay, so far we have 16 and then 2 somethings. And those somethings are the same. But we'll figure that out here in just a minute. Okay, so what do we have to add to 16 to get to 36? We need 20 more between those two blanks. And because each blank has to be the same, we're going to cut 20 in half. Okay, so each blank has to be 10. So if these were 10s, and we did 10 plus 8 plus 10 plus 8, you would get 36. Yep. Okay, next one. Okay, triangle. We need to figure out what this side is if we know that 15 plus 12 plus whatever this side is has to equal 32. Okay, so let's add up what we already know over here. So we have 27 plus something gives us 32. And what do you add to 27 to get 32? 5. So the answer is 5 yards. All right, the perimeter of a rectangle is 56 feet. The width is 15. Find the length. Draw and label the picture. Okay, so here we go. It's a rectangle. And the width is 15, so the short side. And we know the perimeter is 56 feet. Okay, so we know this is 15 and this is 15 because it's a rectangle. Okay, so if we take, this is kind of another little bit different way of looking at it. We know we're going to have a total of 56 all the way around, right? Okay, I'm going to subtract off 15. And then I'm going to subtract off another 15. Okay, so I have 26 feet left to be put up on the top and the bottom. So I want to split that into 2 equal parts. Half of 26 is 13, and the other half is 13. Okay, so this is 13 feet and 13 feet. Okay, notice in this particular case, the width is the longer part because the 13 is smaller than the 15. And that's okay. Length and width are basically interchangeable. It's just in general, the width is usually the smallest of the two. But it doesn't matter. Okay, so find the length of the rectangle. 13 feet is my answer. Okay, this does it for 1.1. So your Lumens homework is assigned, and you have a test right now. So this is the last section that is included in your test. Okay? All right, you got this.